So I knew that for me to help other parents and to be able to minister to them, I had to get that out of my life. That was one experience. And the next experience that we had where I had to learn about forgiveness was, and you probably will recognize this boy they're going to put on the screen in a minute when Jay finds the picture. Stop crying, Jay. It's okay. There he is. Most of you have seen that picture and you've heard him speak on focus on the family, because it was a year after our other sons were killed that we learned that this son was a homosexual. His name is David, but we called him Larry in the books to protect him. I don't know, protect him from what, but that's what they did. Now, when I learned he was homosexual, he was a darling boy. He worked at In-N-Out Hamburgers. He was one of the best employees they had. He tithed his money. He had a Bible study at our home. People just loved him. So many women would say, "Oh, I wish your David would date my daughter." And he was just one of the most musical, talented, well, of all the kids, he was the most considerate and loving. He would see that I got a Mother's Day card and a birthday card, and he just had that really gift of knowing how to be compassionate and loving. So when I learned that he was homosexual, I thought this couldn't happen to Christian families. I mean, this could not be. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know Rock Hudson. I didn't know Liberace. I didn't know anybody that had a homosexual child. I mean, this couldn't be. I even thought that bisexuality meant sex twice a month. So I had a lot of things to learn, that's for sure. So because of my ignorance and my inability to show unconditional love to him, he disappeared. He changed his name. He disowned us. He said he never wanted to see us again. Boy, that's a lot of rejection. And we were going to start this ministry called Spatula Ministry for parents who land on the ceiling. We pull them off with the spatula of love. See, I promised God I would do that, but I thought I was going to die. And when you think you're going to die, you promise him anything. So during those next months, we were trying to help parents, but I was so awful myself. People would say, "Well, how's your family now?" Well, my 2 sons are dead. My 3rd son disappeared, and he's changed his name, disowned us, and never wants to see us again. Well, that's a great testimony. It's real encouraging for other people that are suffering, but to know somebody else's pain is good for them anyway. And so that went on for quite a while, and then as the years went by, I knew that I couldn't get through this. God really didn't love me. How could he love me when I lost 2 darling sons, and this 3rd son, who was the most precious, disappeared and disowned us and never wants to see us again? So that one day, after I had I said, "Too much, Lord, you're not supposed to give us too much, but you gave me too much, and I'm sick of it. I want out of here. I want to resign from the whole thing." And I got on top of the viaduct up here near Disneyland on Highway 5, that big high viaduct. I said, "I'm just going to drive over here. I've had too much. I can't live like this. I don't want to go to church. I don't want to pray for anybody, because when I pray, they get killed anyway, so why should I pray for anybody?" And as I got to the top of the viaduct, thinking, I'm just going to go over here, that's when I said, "Whatever, Lord," the prayer of relinquishment. Whatever, Lord. I didn't say it happy and joyfully. I just said, like Job said, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him." And when I said, "Well, whatever, Lord," then this beautiful bubble of joy came in here. I've had it ever since. It just percolates up, and all that heaviness I had was gone, and all the pain that I had, it just seemed like the Lord lifted that, because I couldn't have all that while I was dealing with parents that are going through such suffering. And so several years after there, altogether it was 11 years from the time we learned he was homosexual, and 11 years later, when he came home on Mother's Day and asked us if we would forgive him for the pain that he had caused us and all the suffering of the 11 years. And I had asked him to forgive me because I had said the wrong things. I mean, thought I was omnipotent. I quoted all the Bible verses and talked about reprobate mind. I don't even know what it was, but I said he had it. And so I had to ask his forgiveness of me. Now, some of you think I'm very nervous today, and I am. I have been speaking here for 4 years. I never get nervous in here. But the son who was gone for 11 years that disowned us is here today. Stand up. You see, you've all heard his voice before, and you've heard him on the tapes, and you've seen his picture if you were here before. And so we did have a restoration. The word restore means to pop back in place, and we did have a restoration. So I want to spend a little bit of time telling some of you and encouraging you to hang in there and trust God to work in your life, and he will. Dr. Richard Lovelace said on a program recently with me, most of the repenting that needs to be done on the issue of homosexuality needs to be done by straight people, including straight Christians. By far, the issue needs to be done by straight people, including straight Christians, because by far, the greater sin in our church is the sin of neglect, fear, hatred, and just wanting to brush these people aside. We've wanted to push these people under the rug, and now the rug has gotten so lumpy that we have to decide what we're going to do with these people. There's a marvelous pastor back in the Midwest. I dearly love him, and he had to deal with this recently in his church. Several staff members of his church were involved in homosexual inclination situations, and so he started reading some books, and he talked to me, and he talked to some others. And then finally he got up to his church, and he said, I would like to invite people to come to our church that are HIV positive. And one of the church board members said, oh, no, then you'd be bringing in hordes of homosexuals. He said, well, wonderful. Then they can come in and sit next to the adulterers and the Flanders and the others in the church. I get a lot of telephone calls because my telephone number is in the book, and I think everybody in the world gives it out, including women of faith. So if you want to call me, I answer my own phone and I flush my own toilet. So I'm very humble about that. I got a call recently from a lady in the South, and she said, Barbara, nobody knows about this, but my son is dying with AIDS, but nobody knows. But it's very bad now. He's very much at the end, and so I called our pastor and asked if they would pray for him. And the pastor said, well, what's the matter with him? And she said, well, he has AIDS. And the pastor said, well, did he get it innocently? And she said, well, no, he was homosexual. And the pastor said, well, we can't pray for him then. Now you see how that pastor missed that opportunity to go in and swoop in and pick up those people and pick up those broken pieces and comfort that family and win them back. They'll never go back to that church again, and they've lost them with that spirit he had. And so we have to realize what unconditional love is, not sloppy agape, oh, I'd love you, do your own thing, but the kind that says, I'm going to love you so much, I'm going to love you and I'm going to pray for you. And love, unconditional love, is what's going to bring these back. Condemnation will not work. It's only conviction from God that changes any of us. Any of us. People are continually we don't have time. It's not very much anyway, so don't clap. Can't do it good, don't do it. A lot of parents come to me and bring their kids and want me to fix them. Well, see, I can't fix anybody. I can't even lose weight. How can I fix somebody else? But see, you give your kids to God. And one of the best lines that Thelma said this morning is so good. When your kids are little, you talk to them about Jesus. And when they get older, you talk to Jesus about them. That's such a good line. I love that. Oh, where'd you get that, Thelma? That's good. We get a lot of questions that come to us, and I don't know a lot about things. After 22 years, you think I should know something, but I really don't. I just know that we're living in a broken world. I don't have the answers. I don't get into any political things because my job is to help parents to love their kids. Billy Graham was on a program with Hugh Downs recently, and Hugh Downs asked him if he had a homosexual child, if he would love that child, and he said, I would love that child even more.